What made you want to be an MC?
Oh man, probably like beating on a desk when I was like 8 years old, you know, and just kind of bullshitting around.
So y'all doing a jam first, or what's up?
Zach was an old friend anyway from the days that we were working jobs together.
I never approached two songs the same way. A certain beat or a certain, you know, riff makes me feel a certain type of way.
He had booked himself a show at right here in Loganville, American Tavern.
I heard a lot of classic rock, I heard a lot of hip hop, I heard a lot of soul, you know, coming out of the South, and I feel like Atlanta's kind of like a crossroads.
You know, the butterflies are there, of course, but once you just get there and you just rip it and you see everybody just moving to it, it goes away. You just kind of you black out almost. You're like in the zone.
Completely different cultures can be separated by a single street block, you know. And getting all that kind of culture definitely has its influence on you.
Like the response that I got off the crowd was just, I can't tell you, like that's when I fell in love with it.
I feel like I've done some dirt in my life, and I think a lot of you can hear that in some of the record, man, you know, that I'm kind of just looking for forgiveness.
It kind of brings you back to like where you're from, you know, like ramen noodles and Kool-Aid. Like, we all know the struggle.
He's not yesterday, he's not tomorrow, he's in the moment. And like, that's how I felt.
That gave birth to Fortnite.
That gave birth to Fortnite right there.
That's what this band is about. It's taking all of those sounds, but making them flow together, you know? 'Cause that's the challenging part. It's like, yeah, you do what you love, but like, can you make it flow?
I was more excited that we were going to do it live because, you know, whenever you go into a studio and you cut everything separately, you know, you lay down scratch tracks and then you go in and cut the actual version with each instrument separately. So we're each playing, you know, to a recording. We're not playing with each other in a, you know, a traditional studio recording setting. And we wanted that quality of, you know, multi-tracking, but at the same time, we didn't want to lose that groove that you get from a live setting.
I felt like we did our best work doing that.
You know, whenever two musicians are playing in the same room together, it's a lot different than when they're playing to each other on a recording. It just is different. And there's a lot more that can happen there spontaneously whenever you are in the same room. So the live studio recording is sort of the best of both worlds, in my opinion, because you get the quality of separating your tracks and miking them separately, and then you have a lot more capability when it comes to the mixing. But you know, you still have the benefit of the musicians playing in the same room together.
If you were a fly on the wall, you know, we're just two guys that just bust each other's chops nonstop about everything, and that's why he loved Phil Ramone so much, because, you know, Phil didn't. You're not Paul Simon, some special guy. You're just some jerk making a record. That's wrong.
Right. It's work. It's work, and you got a job to do.
Like, that wasn't real good, Paul. Let's do that over. And he's like, no, that's why I needed him, because you realize, like, you know, Paul Simon, nobody will ever do that, and that's what I need.
I look at everybody in this band sort of as a superhero
and they all have different superpowers, but we treat each other like regular guys. Like Thor doesn't talk to Hulk, he's just like, bitch, you know, and they're back and forth, bitch.
Not a big deal in a
Why
live
don't you film
situation.
someone else for a change? Huh?
The obligatory, get that camera out of my face.
Yeah.
Get that damn camera out of my face.
And we got Andy. I met Andy. I met him at a show where he was playing a solo act.
I'd never played bass in a band before, but I went ahead and jumped in. You know, got myself a bass, got myself a rig, a setup, and started doing it. And honestly, I really enjoy it a lot. Like I'd never, thought of myself as a bass player before. I'd always been like the singer, songwriter, guitar player, frontman guy.
Andy, you know, he's got the ability to kind of, you know, jump from one thing to another really seamlessly.
We do have these options. You know, our musicians aren't limited to one instrument necessarily.
You know, it's one thing to have a bass player in the band. It's another thing to have a songwriter in the band.
We can drastically change our sound just by one musician changing instruments. And so we have that versatility. You know, we have that ability to sort of change to suit the needs of the song.
And, you know, he's kind of got, you know, like a popular style, but he can also flip it up, and he's a great MC too. And, you know, he's just really diverse cat.
And this band's a little bit different too in that we have more of a collaborative songwriting structure. Elements of Style is much more, everybody has a lot more input. There's no like single person steering the boat. Everybody's sort of collaboratively involved in the writing process, which I'm really enjoying.
What about the passing glance issue? Tell me about that.
Passing Glance came about, I was shortly after I joined the band. I just had this idea for a song, for a hook really, and I wrote it, and I really liked it, and it had this little bass groove.
Man, it happened so fast. It was a goddamn whirlwind romance, just a passing glance.
The fact that it's so mellow and smooth. I sort of have this sort of heavy, harsh, punky metal background. But I was always playing funky hip hop beats in all those gothy metal bands. I was always funking it up. And so when I heard that, I was like, oh man, this is going to be like a playground for my style. And it was, and it is.
So, you know, I had the basic structure of the song, but I just didn't have any verses.
I need a verse. And Zach's like, dude, I just wrote this song and I don't have a hook for it.
So I came to band practice and showed the guys the idea, and they seemed to dig it. And it just so happened that Zach happened to have some verses that fit really surprisingly well, but weren't, you know, they weren't written with my hook in mind.
And so he lays down his song, written independently, and they go.
And it happened so fast. It was a goddamn whirlwind romance.
Am I going to talk about the line? Maybe he should talk about the line.
The sort of drama came about because in the original hook, I had this line that was, some might say inappropriate, but definitely divisive, polarizing, to say the least.
Yeah, there was a line in the song, and I'll let him say what it is, but there was a line in the song that I always thought was sort of...
All right, so last week, everybody basically had a come to Jesus meeting with me, and they were like, Andy, your dick won't fit in your pants, but it's, you can't put that in a song. At first, you know, I think they just liked the song so much that no one wanted to focus on the line that they didn't like. So I was under the impression that everybody liked the song. Everybody liked the line.
I mean, it was abrasive, but that's not why I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I thought that it didn't fit.
And I think, you know, I had this deeper meaning behind the line that I don't think was very obvious I think it just sort of, it was too much shock and, you know, the deeper sort of feeling and emotion behind the line, I don't think came through quite as well.
I was like, man.
You know, we had talked about it previously. We approached him with it, and, you know, we saw different ways on it. But I think the opinion coming from Mark kind of pushed it to a degree where he kind of considered it more and decided it was the best if he changed it.
Well, once we finally busted through the barriers, I think all the great writers were probably really right, but we had to bust through the barriers of getting everybody to get unfreaked out about all the taboo issues. The touch me not spot. So everybody would say dick, pussy, and we had to hear all that. So everybody goes, okay, all the girls have one. It's cool now.
Right.
Now you don't giggle anymore when somebody says pussy. Okay, now that we've gotten over that, okay, now we can go back to being literate again.
What happened was nobody had told me that they didn't like it, and then when we got to WonderDog, this was really going to be the first time that we had laid down in earnest the song. So this is when the guys sort of came to me and were like, dude.
I mentioned it to him, and I think I maybe mentioned it to the band first, and we all talked to him, and he was not into that at all.
I was real adamant that it shouldn't change. I really liked it, and I'd really grown to like it.
So he was totally adamant. He was like, no, fuck you guys, it doesn't change. And I respected him for that. But I was like, dude, trust me on this one.
So I had one night to change the line, basically. They were like, listen, you gotta change the line. And we're recording it tomorrow. So we tried, and I tried to get suggestions from everybody about how to change the line, but I had, you know, it had to have internal rhyme.
When you kissed, I sensed I may have missed my chance.
And it had to fit the same rhythmic structure as the original line.
I wish you'd give me another damn chance.
And it had to make sense in the songs. So it's, you know, it was a difficult task.
So we had to, you know, bitches and hoe, I guess we had to go, you know, dick in my pants. I mean, I guess we did, you know, some shot. But now it's kind of like, you know, all right, so what might you say that really gets me involved in that song a little deeper?
Man, it happened so fast. It was a goddamn whirlwind romance, just a passing glance. But when we kissed, my dick didn't fit in my pants.
You know, Mark in studio mentioned it to him, and it just, I guess that was the straw that put the camel's back.
And now you can tell me something that's really literate that will let me know that there's a pussy involved, but you don't have to say that word once.
Yeah, it's jumping over the innuendo.
I'll totally get it, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went home and I thought about it, and I think I got it. So nobody's heard it yet, so we're gonna go record it, and we'll see what they think.
I think we gotta hear Andy's new line.
Uh-oh.
But it just sort of came to me, you know, when they kissed, she just dismissed it'd last. So it still had the internal rhyme there, but and it fit in context. And actually, I think it made the song better because it put the chorus in this sort of, you know, I'm referring to her in the third person, whereas in the verse, Zach is referring to her as you in the second person.
So when he came up with the new line, I was just like, dude, that song is now the shit. And it is.
Been better, definitely.
It does. Yeah, and even Andy, like I was playing in the mix yesterday, and he was like, yeah, passing glance. I think we turned it into a hit. Old Andy.
I think we got it. Is somebody jumping in the booth with me?
I'll do it.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Man, it happened so fast. It was a goddamn whirlwind romance, just a passing glance. 'Cause when they kissed, she just dismissed it at last. Man, it happened so fast. It was a goddamn whirlwind romance, just a passing glance. 'Cause when they kissed, she just dismissed it at last. Cause when they kissed, she just dismissed it at last.
Yo, don't worry, you can stay tonight. Even though I'm heading out, I gotta catch a flight. I had a great time chilling out by candlelight. You've been through a couple things, but you keep it tight. I never thought you'd open up in multiple ways. I'm talking legs spread, have my mind in a daze. But let these haters tell it, they say our love will fade. Our relationship, just like the trap, it always paid. I think about you all the time when I'm on the road. Stay true to you, baby, never groupie hoes. Going crazy when we hit the stage, they throwing clothes. But no matter what happens, I'm always coming home. We got true love, I never thought I'd find it. Grew together thanks to all of the time spent. If they doubt our love, they full of shit. But never mind that, baby, it's irrelevant.
Man, it happened so fast. It was a goddamn whirlwind romance, just a passing glance. 'Cause when they kissed, she just dismissed it at last. Man, it happened so fast. It was a goddamn whirlwind romance, just a passing glance. 'Cause when they kissed, she just dismissed it at last. When they kissed, she just dismissed it at last.
Baby, please stay a little longer. Ain't no need to rush or roll over and put it on you. Fill the room with sex and marijuana. Only smoke the best, I got a set from California. Girl, I promise you my number one. It's the things that you do. I keep you close like my gun. I stick around you, baby. You my honey bun. I never hit it and quit it. I'm about the long run. So, fuck what your friends say. Pay them no attention. I got breakfast in bed, girl, I forgot to mention. I need you in my life like a prescription. I go for your love, it's my only mission. I hope you know that this ain't pillow talk. Just for your touch, I take the long walk. Your love's like the ocean, and I'm at the dock. I'm about to set sail, baby, raise the anchor line.
Man, it happened so fast. It was a goddamn whirlwind romance, just a passing glance. 'Cause when they kissed, she just dismissed it at last.
She thinks he's just another lover that doesn't really love her, that's leaving her to wonder if he's leaving once he fucks her. So when he says he wants her, she's reminded of another. She reads between the lines, his pillow talk is undercover. He must be just like all the others, his intention is to plunder. She's come to expect this condescension from above her. In her condition, it's no wonder that his warmth just makes her shudder. So she's boarded up and shuddered with every other line he utters. When it rains, it thunders, so she hides under the covers. She sleeps away the day, but at night finds lines to drug her. Meanwhile, he is asunder to assumptions that she's under. She won't believe it, but he means it when he's screaming that he loves her.
Man, it happened so fast. It was a goddamn whirlwind romance, just a passing glance. 'Cause when they kissed, she just dismissed it at last. Cause when they kissed, she just dismissed it at last. was a goddamn whirlwind romance, just a passing glance. 'Cause when they kissed, she just dismissed it at last.